Guys. Hi, there you are. Okay, can you hear? Okay, I can hear you. You can hear me?
Definitely.
Okay, good. Well, can we do guests when we're co-hosting though? This is another question that I
I
have.
think so.
It says battles. Sorry, hang in there with us, guys. We are trying new things right now. I know. Let's see. Alex, really quick, can you just guest request? Is there a guest request still? Because my whole screen changed and I can't even like respond to messages or anything.
Um, uh,
So you can co-host. Let's see. I'm just gonna bring you up for a sec. Okay, there you are. Okay, so you are a guest. Perfect. Okay, it seems like that's working.
is there any echoes?
A little bit, just a tad, but nothing too crazy.
I
You have
wonder
a
if-
background noise. I'm not sure what it is.
Hey Google, stop.
Okay, good.
Sounds good. No more echoes.
So, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, hello. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
Definitely, I've been a busy morning for sure, which you know.
I do.
I woke up a little late, so that's always something. So, how would you like to do this? I'm sorry, everybody who's in here. We're doing something new. We're trying to co-host. So I am on the Christian side of, the chat, and then Huggy here is on the side of we want more support non-religiously. So we can have like a conversation in all types of areas, no matter what your views or your beliefs are. So come on up, join our live, and have a great conversation. I'm hoping that this can give, anybody out there who might have, lonely or doesn't have somebody out there to talk to, that we're here. Huggy has a lot of, experience in that field as well. She's worked in that field. So she's great to have up and give us some real good insight. So, oh, thanks, Silas. Good to have you here with us. Usually try to go live on Saturday mornings, and then Huggy is starting up her lives, and so she'll be starting a schedule as well soon. So thank you. Thanks, Alex. We'll have to reset the goal. Look at you. I hope everybody's having a great morning. And all my USA people getting ready for Thanksgiving. That's what we're doing. I'm super excited for the food. I'm not gonna lie. I love Thanksgiving food. It's so good. Come on in if you're viewing us from the outside, and we don't have to do any type of life coaching as well. We can just have a conversation about our views and our beliefs and kind of get both sides. So we always like to have, great, respectful, open, honest conversations here, and not try to like debate or win a conversation at all. Like a lot of spaces here. Yes, I know. Where are you from? It is really fun. It is like one of my favorite times. It definitely kind of is almost like a hello, hi Max. It's like a pre-celebration, getting you ready. Oh, wow. I see. I've never been outside of the USA at all. I was born in Chicago, and then I'm now in Ohio, and I've been here for about 20 years now. So just North America, like in the north, that's all I know. Oh, my favorite dish on Thanksgiving. I really like sweet potatoes, but they got to be my mom's recipe. And the turkey is always super good. I was actually, oh, I've never heard of that, but we're like over in the Columbus area. So like right in the middle of Ohio. And so, but anyways, I'm ADHD and I will get super off track. But I really like Thanksgiving because I think it's like a pre kind of celebration getting you into like Christmas, which is my ultimate favorite. Our family has always, oh, okay, so you were up north. My friend is out of Fremont area, so she's out there over by Cedar Point. Um, Oh, well then, look, see, then you can follow the conversation. It's all over the place. But yeah, so I love the holidays. These are always my favorite time of year. And I love snow on Christmas, but that's it. I'm definitely somebody who, if I get the opportunity, want to live somewhere warm. But I do like snow during Christmas. Well, that's good. That's good. That's good. And if any of you guys want to request up, have a conversation about views, beliefs, or just any kind of anything. Do you like the cold weather? I feel like you either love it or hate it. It's a very love-hate relationship. I think it's beautiful and I love how everything looks in the winter, but I hate the cold. It like just to my bones.
I love the
In
cold.
Texas. See, I would love to be in Texas. So that like warm weather, I definitely, but I'm not gonna lie, this summer was terrible. It was always like high 90s. It was hard to be outside. So I don't know. Maybe like 70s weather. Like San Francisco. I think their weather is like 70s all the time. That might be nice. And then you can like travel and go somewhere a little warmer. Oh, really? I didn't know that. So then you don't even remember the 90s. Uh, Look at, I was, born in the 1900s. I was raised in the 1900s. And honestly, it really doesn't snow as much. I remember in Chicago, when I grew up there, we would have blizzards there where we would get like 3 feet of snow. Like you could not drive on the roads. Like you were not going anywhere. You would get snowed in. And I remember that as a kid in like the early 90s and stuff, we would always get snowed in. But Chicago doesn't even get that kind of snow anymore. Like they'll get it definitely more than Ohio, but yeah, it's definitely less snowy for sure. Wow. Yeah, that's definitely the kind of snow we used to get. I remember like it would be almost like up to like where the windows start on the cars sometimes. Like you could not go anywhere. Right? But listen, Texas did get some snow though last last year, didn't they? Didn't it? And Florida, like it was really crazy. Really, really crazy. Anybody who wants to come up and have a chat, oh, thanks. Like you too. Always great to find new friends. I'm actually kind of new to the TikTok world. I downloaded the app about a year ago. So, like, I always thought it was just for kids, but I love it here. I think it's awesome. The conversations and the friendships and everything. I really like TikTok and I'm glad to have these lives where we can have conversations and all that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, I do. I like that background too, for sure. And we're just trying out this new thing. I've never done a co-host. I've only gone live, honestly. Maybe this is like the 10th time. So we're just kind of getting the groove of it, inviting all our people.
Which one do you like better? The first one or the second?
I like that one. I think it's like
Yeah.
more like, eye-catching, clearer. Yes. Thank you, thank you. Huggy, get in here. You got anything to say?
Good morning. I don't do the religious stuff, but I am here to support you too.
Yes, I know. Huggy is one of my great friends I've met here on TikTok, and we've just really connected, and we have the same kind of, I think, goal on bringing each other together and being able to support each other no matter what our views are, no matter what our beliefs are, and that we can, really have those connections with people and learn and grow together. I think that it can, we don't need to be so hostile to each other and all that kind of stuff in the world in general.
That's actually a good point because then it's reinforcing the building the bridge between non-belief and believers.
Yes, most definitely. Most definitely. Because I do also, like when you're going through in the religious realm, like Silas is new to the religion, like it is really hard to find community where you can have those open, honest conversations and kind of get two views, like even when we have a panel up and I have, some other non-believers where like we can bounce those ideas off of each other and get the viewpoint of multiple different angles, I think is where you can get a much fuller picture for yourself of what that reality is. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel.
Absolutely. And what I've learned from being in this community is you got to find the place that's best for you. And I prefer a place where you can be who you want, believe what you want, and still have constructive conversations.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And help one another too. Like, that's the other thing is I think we can help each other no matter what our beliefs are. You know what I mean? And I think that we put a lot of stipulations, especially as Christians, on who we're going to help, where we're going to go, who we're going to communicate with. And I think that that really is just it's hindering to not only our relationships with people around us, but also our relationship with God, in my opinion, with my relationship with God. Like accepting everybody where they're at is what we're called to do. We're not called to go and, make people feel bad about where they're at in life. We're there to help, just help and love each other. That's what we're called to do. So, yes, you know what? That's very funny because me and Huggy actually met in Daniel's live. That's where we all met in Daniel's live. That's right, Alex. Yeah, that kind of community where, we can have those conversations. And that's, definitely something that prompted me was seeing, Daniel was actually my first, atheist slash Christian conversations, and the way that Christians communicated to people who didn't believe is one of the main things on what made me want to do this, to show that there's a different way and that the way that the hostility and all that is just not needed. And so, yeah, so definitely, glad that you're here too. And hopefully this will be another great space for you to come. Like I said, we might not always have the co-host thing, but I always have guests. So if you ever want to have a chat, I have not just the opposing. I have people from both views come up, and I have a couple people up, and we can all talk about it. So even if you're a believer, you're welcome up too. It's not just the opposing, just so everybody knows.
We bonded over that first time you went up on Daniel's too, and we've been friends ever since.
Yeah. Daniel definitely broke the ice for me because I went on I think I went on Daniel's, and then I went on Thinkers, and the complete contrast of those two conversations, yeah, definitely.
First things out of your mouth was, I was in prison.
This is true. I was multiple times. And I think that's, the other thing is I have such a unique background, which I believe God uses, and is why I went through what I did, because I think that I have, oh, hello, good morning, thank you. Is that I have a unique view on things. I also was atheist. I did not grow up with religion either. So that was another, difference that I saw too. There aren't, just having that experience that I did with religion is a lot more, relationship based, like I talk a lot about, where I don't feel like in my life I was really taught like to have to follow a religious kind of way to do things. And I think that a lot of Christians that grow up in it get stuck in that, like, you have to do it a certain way because religion tells you to do, your prayers a certain way, or etc. So I think that that's another thing I noticed in a lot of these areas with Christians, is they're so close-minded on the ritualistic aspects of religion, which I think can be really damaging, in my opinion. But I don't know how we got on this topic, guys. ADHD.
I was raised in a Catholic church. I did participate. I was an altar server, but I never got a full indoctrination. But I did lean more to science when I was about 8, 9. So that was kind of where I went and where I've stayed pretty much.
Yes, yeah. And do you think that since you have been in the science realm, that you've blocked out your, I guess, openness to it being more of a spiritual thing, or do you feel like you're still open to that kind of thing?
I hold to not being surprised by anything, pretty much. I also think it's a right to believe and have your beliefs. It's the harmful beliefs attached to beliefs that I would challenge.
Yes, yeah. I know, and that's, I think, where, with the Christian religion in particularly, people have used it so much throughout history, as like a back for their, horrible things that they've done, and call it God. And it just, in my opinion, simply is a people problem, not a God problem. That is us using religion or God to justify the horrible things that we're doing, is really what I think that is.
Absolutely. Using a title in the name of Christianity to harm people or control people and to manipulate them.
A big thing I've noticed too, like I think in our generation, I think Christianity is being used right now for clout too. That a lot of people are realizing, like, especially there were a few artists like Brandon Lake and Forrest Franks that are Christian artists that kind of blew up this last year and had like a mainstream song. And I really have noticed that I feel like a lot of people do nowadays in our society, what I'm seeing is use the name of God or Christianity for, to get those followings, get that attention, because it's like what's kind of, mainstream right now. And I think that people in the past did that as well.
Well, see, when I took world religions in high school, I really enjoyed it, and I branched off. I went to a Christian church once. I've delved into the Islamic faith here. But I thought I knew more than what I did. And when I came into this community, I was shocked and surprised and realized I knew nothing about any of it. So it was eye opening for me.
Yeah, definitely realized, I knew that the religion, I just want to say hi to my daughter, Jordan. Hey, honey, good to see you. But I feel like that is the one thing that through my walk with, God and everything, is that the religion aspect of it is just so fluffy. Like what they teach is like just the good, like just the good in the Bible, like you're saved, always saved, like you ain't got to do nothing else. Like, and they feed you like the other really big thing is like that prosperity gospel and all that kind of thing. And don't teach you what God really is like, doesn't teach you what really is in the Bible and how to, why is that in the Bible? Like I had to find out all of that by going and, seeking people on YouTube, doing, Bible studies and stuff like that. But churches in general do not, teach you truly what God is like, in my opinion. It's really rare.
See, for me, when I was going to church and school, they always said, even if you don't take the scriptures that you're reading seriously, still find the message in it. So that's why it was always difficult coming in and being like, but this is how I was taught. But is that because I'm in Canada, or is that just because our religion is different with Catholic?
Right? Yes, it is. That's true too. It is different. And then there's like thousands of different denominations in the Christian religion as well. And that's where like even in the Bible and like, like my girl was saying, you can have a relationship with God before you even go to church. And that is my experience. I started a relationship with God way before I started reading the Bible or, going to church on a regular basis. I started that relationship. And I feel like with the religious aspect and, everything being so different that it's like we can't even agree within the same religion. And that is what God came here, Jesus came here. Oh my gosh, look at that pumpkin. Thanks, Alex. He's just lighting it up, isn't he? But I feel like with so many different views, and it just makes it more confusing for people when you can't even agree in your own religion. I think that's where we're seeing a lot. You're doing a great job. I definitely think that's where a lot of the problem with Christians in general is we can't even get along and agree within the religion. So how in the world are people going to get along and agree out in the real world about different views, And I see that's where we get all the hostility from, is what I really think, is because it's promoted in the religion in general.
Yeah, see, coming into the community too, I didn't know people held to atheism. I didn't know it was a thing. I was kind of shocked. I never really thought much about God or if he was real or not. I just kind of relied on the understanding of there being a universe and defining it as whatever you want it to, even if you call it God. So I've been exploring kind of where I fit the most in the communities, as you know, so I'm still exploring.
Yes, yeah, I know you are. And we've had lots of conversations about that. And I think as whatever you believe in, that you should always seek more truth, more understanding, because honestly, this is a lifelong, exploration. Even when you have a relationship with God, I don't feel like it's ever going to end exploring in that relationship until I die, honestly. And then I have a better understanding. I do, the Appalachian, you're definitely welcome. We have guests and I talk about religious stuff. And if you would like to talk, I know that I've seen you guys talking about free will down in the comments. And so if you want to come on up, I do think that, free will, free choice is kind of like the same thing. I do think that Christians use the free will word a little bit wrong. I think it's more we have free choice and free will, because I think that all of our choices are influenced by something. And whether you're atheist and believe that it's influenced by outside circumstances, I view it as you're influenced either by outside circumstances or you're influenced by spiritual. So you're either influenced by the enemy or God. And that's your choice on who you're letting influence you. I think that's where you get the choice. And then, of course, like throughout your day, you get choices of good or bad or right or wrong. But I feel like we are in control of what we allow influence us. So, but I don't think that we are uninfluenced in any of our choices. I think all of our choices are influenced by something. It's good to see you in the chat, honey. And I like that that it seems like you've listened to me over the years. Sometimes you're like, are your kids listening? I'm glad that you are. You're right. I don't think, oh my gosh, look, it's the Albinosaurus. Albinosaurus. You remember that, Huggy? When you said that and we called it that.
I don't know who said that because I can't see your chat, but that is
Oh,
funny.
got you. Right wing dino. Jordan is my daughter. That's my oldest girl. I'm a mama of 4. I have my eldest who's here. She's a full grown adult on her own. And then I have my other 2 girls who are 18 and 16 that live at home. And then I have a little 4-year-old boy. So started all over. Actually, my youngest was born the same year that Jordan graduated high school. So that was definitely an interesting time in life.
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
Started all over again.
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely a whole, it's like when you're younger, it's so much easier physically, but it's really taxing mentally, to be a mom of multiples. And a lot of our life, I was single mom with the help of my parents. And so, but as I got, older and I had my son older, it is so much easier mentally almost, but physically, oh my gosh, I cannot keep up with that child.
That's funny. We are almost exactly the same, but so different because I did not have those supports as a younger person, and now I do.
So it was easy. It was easier now for you. You feel like,
I don't still get those supports, but I do have a better relationship with them. So.
yeah, that's good. Right. Yeah. I think maybe it is maybe harder too because I lost my parents, both of my parents. We lost them 8 years ago. So I did have help with my mom, with my children, my 3 girls. So I don't have that support with him. So yeah, I can see where that probably is why it's harder. Mhm. Yeah, definitely. I'm hopeful that I can stay on a little bit longer, but your brother is up, Jordan, and Jeffrey's up. He's been up. We were hoping that he might go back to sleep, but he has not. Hold on, I want to see. I know that we just had this conversation too, I feel like, last week. So, I'll just say what I believe. And then Huggy, if you have any insight or what you think, maybe contradictions or anything, or if you don't want to get in it, it's fine. I will, honey. I'll tell him that Sissy said hi. But so what I believe with like the good and evil, the eating of the fruit, etc., is that God is actually like love in essence, meaning that we were an expression of his love. We had to be made because God is love. With love, though, you also have to choose that love. If love is force, then it is not true love. Forced love is so when we were created, I believe that God did create us in perfection. Hey, Jason, good to see you. I have Huggy up here as a co-host, just hanging out, trying something new.
Hi, J-Train.
Hey. But I do truly believe that in the beginning, we were designed to live in perfect communion with God. We didn't have to make that choice. It was already chosen for us. He already chose us. But by the tree being there, it had to be a choice for us. We had to choose to love God back. And at first we were in communion with him, but when the angels fell and all of that kind of stuff, right, God is love, exactly. That is when sin was able to enter the world. And that, I believe, is all because of the one choice that we had to make. I believe that everything happened because the one choice to love God is what our ultimate story is that God chose us. God chose to love us. He made us in a perfect garden with relationship with him. We walked with him with no shame, but we were the ones that stepped out of that relationship. And he had to have that option for us for it to be true love. And I know that, even for me, that still gets confusing. And it's not, let me see what you're thinking. Because I feel like that's the other aspect of the Adam and Eve story, is I honestly feel like that is every single one of our stories. I feel like that no matter if it was you or me in the garden, that ultimately we would always choose the knowledge. We would always choose to walk away, because with that knowledge in that story, we are promised to be like the gods. That's how the serpent manipulated Eve into eating that fruit, was because he manipulated her to not believe God, that she wouldn't die, and then two, that she would be like God. And so I feel like that story is all of our story. I think that we all get that choice, and that we would all ultimately have made the choice. So I don't think that we're getting punished necessarily for their sin. I think that God knows humans in general, and every single human ultimately would choose that. Unfortunately, that's just how sin works. We would prefer, with our pride, to be like God. We are like him in his image, meaning we were made out of that love. We have that capability of choice where other creations that he made, like the angels, the animals, the earth in general, they all praise God. They don't get a choice whether they praise God or not. We are the only creation that has the ability to choose God. That is where we are made in his image, where that is where the devil tempted us, was because we got that inherent from the Lord that we are like him. We are able to create. We are able to choose, unlike any other of his creation. I hope that made a little bit of sense. But that's what I truly feel, is that first story in the Bible is all of our story, and we would all have chosen that. And that Jesus story is to reconcile us all the way back to the beginning, to have that relationship with God that we were ultimately made to have in the very beginning, that we chose to step out and walk away from. So I hope that made sense. Right. Yeah, and and I feel like humans in general, with living in this flesh, it is hard, I guess I don't know what I'm trying to say, to be honest. I got a little lost. Thank you. I got a little lost. I'm trying to pay attention.
Aren't we all?
I'm horrible with paying attention to chat and talking. I usually have conversation with people up here because I cannot pay attention to both. But yes. I know it's really quiet in here. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Alex. You're a great friend.
I'm just trying some stuff out. Don't mind.
You're good. You're good. I know. I'm still learning all this live stuff. If anybody wants to come up and have a conversation, you don't have to be atheist. You can be Christian. You can believe in something else. if you do have anything that you need support with that you feel like you don't have, I'm here for you, as well as my co-host Huggy, and she also has a lot of experience and has worked with, therapies and life coaching and all of that. So she's great to have up, and if you have any questions about things, she's the one to ask for sure. Right? It's all about practice. I tend to be hard on myself because I have that, I just want everything to be perfect, and, but I also, it takes time to build these platforms, and honestly, I'm just here to have great conversation. I feel like God has led me here to, just be open and honest about my relationship with him, what I've been through in my life. I feel like our testimonies are not just for ourselves, but for whoever that they can touch and help, so that's kind of like why I'm here. It's not, I appreciate all of you being here. I appreciate all the likes and all the gifts, but it's not about how many people are here. It's about the quality of conversation that we can have, I think, is the most important. But thank you so much for all those gifts, Alex. You're awesome. Thank you for all the likes. And if anybody wants to come on up, you can guest request. I'm not sure how long I have. I may have to dip out and get my son. But if we don't get a guest, we might end. Huggy, what do you feel?
That is good with me. And to add to what you said, you inspire me to do more. Just do more.
Oh, thank you. You too. Like, honestly, and then I know that, when my daughter, I was going through a lot with my daughter, and just the support that I got from the community was amazing. And I couldn't have gotten through it without you. And then your support for me to just, right, how inspires me to just, she's the one that inspired me too to go, like, you should have it.
And like at that same time, my whole world crashed, and we touching and crashing together and supporting each other. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank God for Alexander.
Yeah, I know. And he has totally been a huge support too. And yes, right. It's always good to have a friend that you can crash in life together with, you're not alone. Be there for each other. But yes. And honestly, you're not even that far away from me. So I'm more likely to probably be able to hang out with you than my family is further from me than you are. Geologically, anyways.
Well, as long as it's still safe to go into the States, we could do that.
Listen, little girl. Listen to my child. I think that I love being friends with you. I'm always first your mama, but my whole goal was to raise decent human beings. So at that point, now I can be friends with you instead of friends with you when you were a kid. Like, that's just my opinion. I think we shouldn't be friends with our kids while they're growing up, but my goal was to raise up a wonderful adult like you are, so now we can have that friendship. I love you. Sorry, just a little.
I get it. I have an 18-year-old. Yay.
Right, you do. You do. It's just so much. I love the relationship that you can have with your grown children. Like, I look forward to it, but it's much, it's awesome. It's awesome seeing her doing great in life and having her own, place and, her job that she does great at. And she's super responsible. Like, I couldn't be more proud of her, to be honest.
Because my son has autism, we're still working towards being more independent, but he still needs that time management and supports, but we're getting there. He's a good boy.
Yes, definitely. And I think a lot that helped her too is she actually worked at a camp for many years, like from, I think she started at 15, I believe, right? 15 or 16, you started, she started working at a camp and she would stay there all summer. So I think that gave her a lot of independence, learning how to, kind of be out of the house and then be responsible for other human beings. Really helped her, with that independence for sure was that job. I mean, I'm just speaking for her, but I would assume that that really helped her. Being out of the house and having that independence really made her want to have that as soon as possible. Yes, it really did. That job was great.
Well, my brothers were much younger than me, so I always felt very protective of them. And then my one brother is deaf, and so I was
Oh, really?
always very supportive, and he got made fun of, and people would talk to him like he had a mental disability, and so that's where I started with my mm, journey into the medical field.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Right. And then having a kid young, I knew I didn't want to work in daycare. And then when I went to college, I did personal support working. And one of the very first clients that I had were two young 22-year-olds, cerebral palsy, wheelchair bound, who got married. And it was the most beautiful thing I ever seen. And that kind of opened my heart and understanding to people from different walks of life. And that's why I do what I do.
Yes. Huggy is Jade, right? Huggy's talking. I have her on a co-host. Yeah, I definitely think that sorry, I got super distracted. But yeah, I think also, he's a boy too. You know what I mean? And I feel like girls tend to just kind of like be ready to leave the house a lot quicker than boys too, especially from what I've heard. You know what I mean? That boys tend to be home longer. I could be wrong on that, but that's what I've always heard from people.
Yeah, statistics are that children are staying at home much longer, past 25.
Right? I
So
don't think that's a bad thing. In other countries, families live together till they get married out, honestly, or go and get their own place. But I think that's a good thing. I don't think, I really highly do not like the here. I don't know if you've ever seen, but here in America there's like this thing, like when your children turn 18 you just like kick them out the door, and I think that's terrible. I think that, like I gave my daughter the option, like of course, when you're 18 you can go, but you have the option to stay here, save money, and not struggle right away, But I feel like that's a good thing that kids are staying home, longer for sure than feeling like they got to get out. Now, I think we can stay too long. Like, I definitely don't, I definitely think that we can stay too long, but yeah. I think that kids need to know that I think it sets them up for a better, just start at life when they feel not rushed to do so. Meaning like they'll make better decisions on the way out of the house than if they feel like they have to leave and are rushed.
I couldn't wait to move out at 18. I still had to finish my last year of high school. I had a 1-year-old, and there was no going back until I had to.
There's no until I had to. I know, I feel it. And I do know for some people that don't have great home life, so that 18 mark though is like freedom too, out of a really toxic situation. So I do understand that view too. But I do think that society should support, those kids way more, because like you're going from being a child in school to that automatically being an adult is just insanity to me. Oh, it's just too much. Right, yeah. And I know for some, like, yeah, like you need to get out of that situation because there are people that should not have kids. That's for sure. Just saying.
I guess trigger warning. I wish I would have stayed at home much longer at that point in time, but because of that very traumatic experience with that one person, which happened at my home, I couldn't stay here and feel safe and not feel like I was being watched. So I had to go for my mental health.
Yeah, I could see where, you know, it could be, and that's like another thing that's just like shocked me over my lifetime of like just learning about the sheer amount of parents that are absolutely horrible to their children. I am very blessed to be from a family that I was. And as I get older, I realize that more and more that almost being abused by your parents is more kind of common than not. I feel like, unfortunately.
Absolutely. And I would say I took a lot of the brunt of it so that they didn't have to as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But it was more extreme in this circumstance.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And I'm sorry you went through that. And I know that for a lot of kids, like I said, that 18 mark, woo! Yeah, let's get to 10K. That 18 mark can be freedom, you know. But I do also encourage, oh, have I? So should I be pointing over here? Thank you. It's good to see you, friend. Hope you're doing well. That is hilarious. So she's not over here. Oh my gosh. That's funny. Um,
Literally dead.
oh my gosh. That's funny. I see her over here.
She came from my life to go to yours to tell you.
Oh, got you. I am too. Listen, me too. This is our first time ever doing this. I have no idea what I'm doing.
And then they.
Right? Just hang in there with us. Hey, Solo. Good to see you. I know. We're just hanging out right now. My little dude's up. Unfortunately, I have to go in a minute. But I might go live tomorrow morning is what I'm thinking. I might do a actual live where I can have like some deeper conversations like normal. Me and Huggy were trying this out too because my little dude was already up and we weren't sure how long I had. And this was a good time because she is going to be starting her own lives, right, Huggy? I don't want to say anything for you.
Absolutely. And maybe one time we can all trauma dump together.
Yes, she's gonna make a safe space for us to all trauma dump together, any, support that anybody needs. So definitely, I think we're all following each other, I would assume. We're all friends here. But so definitely, I'm really excited for that too, is to have some safe space where no matter what our views, what our beliefs are, we can come together, get some support, all that kind of stuff. Right? I know. Why didn't TikTok think of this? I just love having this community too, like that we're all growing and having that support with all of us having different views and being able to have those healthy conversations together, I think is like really awesome, just example to TikTok in general, right?
And also, take a little step outside of the religious conversations that are going on and focus on ourselves.
Right. Yes. Yeah. I agree, right? Because we got to work on ourselves before we can really work on anything else. We got to really, I think having some support too where you don't feel judged, because I know a lot of people like might have support in like your everyday life, but there are things that you don't feel like you can talk about or be supported in the way that you want by those people. So I think that it's great to have that open space that you're providing for sure. And you, of course, are so loving, so caring, and just so understanding and have a really, soft and amazing approach to how you communicate that I think you're going to be great.
Thank you. You're so sweet. I also think you are a good person to bring into that space and help with supports with other people too.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll definitely be there. But yeah, so I thank you everybody for being here. Win Alex with all your gifts. Thank you for anybody who gifted and was here supporting. And like I said, hopefully maybe I'll go live tomorrow and do like our traditional. But follow Huggy if you're not following her for her wonderful support lives that she's gonna do, and we can all come together and love on each other and get all that crap out together.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me up here with you
Yes,
tonight.
same, honey. Love you. Have a good day.
Love you too. Goodbye.
Bye. It was definitely nice meeting you, Silas. Come back. I usually go live every Saturday morning, but we are going to try tomorrow too, I think, hopefully, as long as I can get on here without my little dude. So I hope everybody has a great day. Love you all. And then just, go out there and love on people because you never know what kind of day somebody's having.
Yes. Have a good one.
Love you, Heidi. Bye.
Love you too.